Hello everyone, welcome to another beautiful edition of Iron Port, the program that has been specifically designed to bring Ghana's ports and maritime industry closer to you. At Iron Port, we also discuss trading issues that have some direct or indirect effect on the ports and maritime business. It is proudly brought to you by the Ghana Revenue Authority, GOIL PLC, Serene Insurance, Ghana Link, the Meridian Port Services, and Phoenix Insurance. Iron Port is powered by the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, and our media partner is the Business and Financial Times. Viewers, last week Monday was the World Environment Day, and the Meridian Port Services, together with other maritime sector stakeholders in Tema, embarked on a number of initiatives towards ending plastic pollution within the community. Let us take a look at this series of stories that follow. After, we'll be back to take the main subject. Over the past week, the Meridian Port Services demonstrated a commitment to help fight plastic pollution as persons, governments, businesses, and organizations globally marked the World Environment Day, together with state authorities within the port community, including the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, the Ghana Maritime Authority, the Environmental Protection Agency, the Tema Metropolitan Assembly, NTEs, started off the celebration with a sensitization exercise to educate workers at the Terminal 3 on the responsible use and disposal of plastics.
Plastic, for your information, is a resource. As my brother said, because it's a resource, anytime you throw it away, you have thrown away money.
Unfortunately, local waste management infrastructure has not kept pace, resulting in large quantities of mismanaged waste. Like Frank was saying, Frank alluded to the fact that we are being indisciplined. But apart from the indiscipline, the system that allows us to manage this waste is not catching pace with the trend.
I think it is high time. I want to see that we have the bins that are segregating waste. Because we have them, but I see that we mix them up. So let us take one step at a time. This is one very low-hanging fruit that we can do.
NTEs that day also played host to the Marine Pollution Technical Committee to discuss marine pollution around the Tema Port Enclave and Tema Coastline, address institutional gaps and interventions, as well as strategize to implement the action plan to fight the situation. At the storm drain around the Terminal 3 at the Port of Tema, a senior environmental specialist at NTEs, Henry Okine, called on adjoining communities to the port to end the indiscriminate disposal of waste.
Most of this rubbish coming are plastic waste, and it's quite alarming. Besides plastic waste, we have fecal matter also entering, and besides the cost, actually in a year we spend over 300,000 Ghana cedis just trying to keep the V-drain clean. And as you can see, we have some of our cleaners here who do the job for us. But that is not sustainable. What is sustainable is people need to change their behavior of improper waste disposal. The community out there, we all live there, we have friends and families there. We all need to be educated and also change our behavior of waste disposal. The improper waste disposal needs to stop.
As part of the World Environment Day celebration, NTEs collaborated with the Environmental Protection Agency to sensitize students at Sakumono Complex JHS on the responsible use of plastics and separation of waste. In addition to that, they donated 12 waste bins as an effort to inculcate the habit of proper waste segregation and disposal among the younger generation.
You see, this is organic, this is plastic, this is paper, because these are the main streams of waste they generate in their schools, so that they can begin the waste segregation from source, so that when the waste recycling companies come to pick the waste, they don't have to send the waste to their factories and do another sorting and segregation. We believe that our children are agents of change, and that when they are championing something, it reaches further than what the elderly can do. So we are targeting the children.
Ahead of the World Environment Day, a team from the Meridian Port Services held a series of engagements with some members of the fishing community in Tema. The various fishermen bemoaned the negative impacts of plastic pollution on fish catch and fishing in general.
A little study that we have done shows that plastic waste take 300 years before, even 300 years, it can't dissolve. Let's all draw attention. If this plastic waste enters the sea, fish also breed, and they come down and come and breed. So if the place that they are going to breed is full of plastic waste, where are they going to lay their eggs? It's one issue that we need to take into consideration. So now the decline of fishing of the fish in our ocean, we can tell categorically that is the plastic waste which is also contributing to the decline of the fish in our ocean.
The head of legal and compliance at NPS, Frank Ebo Brown, called on government, businesses, and the general public to work more closely to treat plastics responsibly.
When you go to the supermarket, use your bag. Don't use single-use plastics to pollute the environment. Let us build this culture as we go forward, and this would help sustainably address the problems. I will not limit it to the stakeholders of the port community. We are entreating all members. If we have such a big platform, let's entreat all members of our society. Let's entreat all people who watch this program to be responsible with plastics.
All right, away from that, in 2022, Ghana raked in $3.5 billion from non-traditional exports, which represents a 6% increase over the 2021 figures. As a result, we sat with the Director of Projects at the Ghana Export Promotion Authority to tell us what were the contributing factors that led to these gains and how his outfit is strategizing to help Ghana meet future targets. Joining him was Moses Atubra, who is a dealer and exporter of Ghana-made cosmetic products. They also touched on the Ghana Trade House as well as the Ghana Expo 2023, which was held in Nairobi, Kenya. Take a listen.
So first of all, I would want Mr. Dajawa to run us through what actually happened. What was the magic wand that did the trick in terms of Ghana earning a whopping or colossal 3.5 billion from non-traditional exports?
Well, there's no magic. It's just hard work and consistency and sending the right message out there. Congratulations to our exporters who have all done us very great last year. You rightly said that cocoa paste was leading the pack, with cashew also following. The cashew story is a very good story. I think I was here not too long ago, I think last year, we discussed, and again I was talking about cashew.
Absolutely, yes.
Fact is that we have the climatic conditions, we have incentivized the farmers, and there is a lot more demand, for cashew nuts generally on the global markets, led by a strong demand in Vietnam, as usual, and also India. So it's not too much of a surprise to see that cashew has seen a lot of growth. And cashew also is a cross-border product or produce, in the sense that it's also grown in our neighboring countries. So there's some, cross-border trade also, depending on the movements. Yeah. So all these came up to shore up the quantities that we exported, and the pricing was also not too bad. Yes. Remember also that there is a new regulatory authority in the system called the Tree Crops Development Authority. Yes. Yes. That has come to rationalize and sanitize the system for cashew and other tree crops. So these helped in no small way to increase the export values. First of all, the quantities or the volumes, which by extension also affected the values. For cocoa paste, of course, we all know that Ghana is a major producer of cocoa, and the paste goes into mainly chocolates production and other forms of products. Right. And the demand has increased over the years, and particularly also last year, because after the the COVID, you know that there was some resurgence in the various economies led by strong growth in consumption in Europe and elsewhere. And so demand was quite high. And the processors also had access to a lot more beans, you know, to process. And so that led to that growth. And one key player in the mix these days is Niche Cocoa, which is a local 100% Ghanaian-owned company,
is coming out,
which
coming
is
strongly,
doing so well,
forcefully,
to the extent that they are even in North American market. So these combinations of factors led to this growth. Kenya came in the picture because we are refocusing our marketing efforts in Africa as a result of the signing of the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement. And here I must say that we work very closely with the National Coordination Office of AFTA, which government has set up to, as it were, coordinate all the efforts countrywide towards our accessing the African markets.
Absolutely.
And they are an agency or a coordinating office under the Ministry of Trade. And as you know, GEPA is also one of the agencies of the ministry.
Unfortunately,
so,
you guys are in the same
building. And so also in the same building. So we came together. Actually, there's a very cordial relationship between the two of us, the two institutions. So we sat and felt that it's about time we did something or took advantage of the AFCFTA. Remember that Ghana is hosting the
Secretariat,
the National Secretariat. So it was deliberate, but also because with the AFTA, only 8 countries in Africa have declared their readiness to start trading under the AFTA agreement because they are ready. Others will come on board. And in order not to let these opportunity become one of those things on paper where we sign agreements and not implement them, we decided that we need to take that step. And of the 8 countries, one of them is Ghana, of course, and also Kenya. And so we thought that why don't we start off from testing the, as it were, the waters by fielding such a big, mission to Kenya. And Kenya is a big player in Africa, particularly within the Eastern African countries. It's a gateway to East Africa. So we thought that if we started from there, it would be very great. And fortunately, it was also in the plans of the coordination office. So we put together the team that worked on this. And last month, from 23rd to 27th of May, we had a big expo. And we took advantage of that also to launch our Ghana Trade House. It's an export trade house in Kenya, in Nairobi, where most of these products that we are pushing into the Kenyan and East African markets are going to go through. And Moses will testify that it's a very big thing.
So that's a trade house you commissioned in Kenya?
So this is the trade house that we commissioned in Kenya, and it's going to display most of our made in Ghana products, exclusively made in Ghana. So you can see the chocolate section. You can see the cosmetic section and all that. So Moses' products are also there. And already trading has started. And we are getting daily reports. That people are patronizing and is moving on very, very well. And it's also going to have a warehouse where the products, when shipped, will be distributed from there. And we are very hopeful that we are going to get a lot of orders from this.
So for the cosmetics, I would say the response is good. Myself and a very good brother, Amanex, we were all over town and we are having good responses. In fact, we are going to ship in about a week or 2.
Into Kenya?
Yes, into Kenya already. If you may ask what the challenges are or hurdles, I don't see them as challenges. It may be the harmonization bit. Because we have to certify our products at their standards,
That is under AFTA?
In Kenya. So Alex may
under AFTA. And they already moved towards that. We are in touch with the Kenya Exports, Kenya Standards Bureau, we call it KEBS, Kenya Standards Bureau, to work on this conformity certificate in harmonizing our standards. Already there has been discussions between the two institutions. It's not a big deal. The only thing is to get the appropriate channels through which this will be regularized.
Funding is always a challenge.
Absolutely.
In fact, it's been very tough operating without any bank loan and all that, and then you want to build your factory and all that. It's been really tough, really tough, using your working capital.
Yes.
To invest into capital expenditure and all that.
Yeah.
So my recommendation is that the government probably, or some of these trading agencies, could look at having what do you call it, like industrial zones,
right,
for SMEs.
Okay.
We should have industrial zones, and this should be regional based. In every region, we should have something where, because you see, for manufacturing, it's so difficult, right from raw materials to packaging, and to even things like barcoding and all that. A barcoding machine could cost you about $6,000. So what you see is stickers. A lot of small businesses manufacture an expiry date, and you put stickers, and sometimes these stickers will pull.
Yes.
But if we have these business enclaves,
yes,
and then government gives reliefs, so everything, for example, that you are taking to that enclave is probably a raw material. So why do you pay so many taxes on your raw material when you don't even have the capital? So these are things that the Ministry of Trade should look at. And it will really help. It will help a great deal in propelling a lot of the SMEs. At the end of the day, government employs about 600,000 people. And we spend over 70% of our GDP on their salaries. Now, private sector employs a chunk of Ghanaians.
Absolutely. And
these SMEs, we employ about 26 people. At the peak, when we got some contracts, we could push to 128, 130.
Right.
You know, so I imagine if we have all these SMEs being supported in a way, we don't want free money.
Right.
But create what usually our politicians will say, the enabling environment. What more can be enabling than having these enclaves? So that I don't have to look for a loan to build a 2 million CD, 3 million CD factory.
Yes.
But then plug and play. There are shells there with electricity, roads, and everything, internet. You go to Dubai and things, and these are the things they do.
Absolutely.
Our CEO, Dr. Ifeanyi Asare, has been thinking about that. And just about 3 weeks ago, we had a conversation with Afrexim Bank.
Right.
You know, Afrexim Bank is the big Pan-African bank in Cairo.
Yes.
And she just pushed this idea to them to have a common use facility in regional, some strategic regional centers. Particularly also near where we have raw materials, like you are saying, they plug into, you know, to play, kind of. So all these facilities will be there. You have the packaging, you have all the facilities. All you need to do is that if you have a product or you have an idea, you just go in there and then you plug and you do according to what your business plan tells you. So we've had conversation with them. We are in the process of putting together a proposal to that effect, and I would welcome your ideas so that we strengthen it. We have gotten a draft. We are in the process of shaping it up, and then we send it to Afrexim. But they are willing to look at it positively. They were quite excited that this is quite a revolutionary idea that we are bringing. Nobody has told them about this before, so they are quite happy to help.
So viewers, the future is bright for Ghana's non-traditional exports, and GEPA is saying that they will continue to play their roles to be able to help Ghana get where we are trying to get to, and they urge all stakeholders to do their part. Now let us pick a few comments on the subjects we have just discussed after we go on break, and then we'll be back with more news. Stay tuned. This comes from Inshira in Takwa. She says, "Hello Iron Port, very important discussion there. My worry is that some of these products we are taking out there can be further processed for more value. My humble opinion. My name is Perry in Koforidua. It's my personal wish that these trade houses are spread across the continent. Anyway, are there any plans to replicate this elsewhere?"
We are saying that on the back of the AFCFTA, at least we are going to open up about 5 of them in the next few years to come. And so they should watch out. One in Kenya, we are thinking about Northern Africa, the country, not yet, but, and also West Africa, somewhere around Sierra Leone, perhaps.
I like the idea of industrial zones brought up by Mr. Atubra. Government should take it up. This is Fred from Ukanshi.
XP Ron 95 is designed to burn slowly and thus improves fuel economy, making you save money after several kilometers. GOIL Super XP Ron 95 gives you a smooth driving experience, that is, less vibrations. Fill up with GOIL Super XP Ron 95. Now there's no need to pay more for any higher grade fuel. GOIL has that sorted. GOIL, good energy.
Electricity, then pay your taxes. Yeah. Our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, street lights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Talga, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is, you still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
Impressive factory. If only I had listened to you, I wouldn't have been in this mess. That devastating fire virtually wiped out the whole factory and my warehouse.
Remember my misfortunes last year? Serene Insurance Asset All Risk Fire policy that I took were there to pay for my damaged stocks in the warehouse, and my machines that were affected by the floods have been replaced. My accident vehicle is back on the road thanks to Serene Insurance motor policy. Darling, my goods are on the high seas, covered with their marine cargo insurance policy. I was just telling Ajima about Serene Insurance.
Oh, Ajima,
tell him more.
As a road contractor, I make sure I do my contractors all risk insurance for the projects, and then workers' compensation for all the workers on site. With Serene Insurance, they will make sure they will cover your unknown tomorrow today.
Serene Insurance, a new face of insurance. Call us now.
MPS Terminal 3 is Africa's new state-of-the-art container terminal at Tema Port. For manufacturers, agro-processors and traders, the new port means business can be done faster. This infrastructure boost will improve Ghana's port handling capacity, connect more trading routes, and oil the engine of growth for the economy, creating great opportunities across all sectors as Africa's markets merge and become the largest trading bloc globally. MPS, we connect, you thrive.
Business and life can be like the sea sometimes. Sometimes serene, sometimes calm, sometimes turbulent, and at times it brings the unexpected. However it is like, trust Phoenix Insurance for your home, car, business, and marine insurance needs. Call 0302 246 319 or 0243 690 492.
At Phoenix, you experience a delightful service delivered with wisdom.
Welcome back. Now let us pick a few stories from our local industry, which includes the fact that the Port of Takoradi has a new director. Ghana's leading oil marketing company, GOIL PLC, on Wednesday, June 7, held its 54th annual general meeting with an assurance to the consuming public that the company will continue to strive to stay at the top and offer the best products to enable customers enjoy value for money. The company is optimistic about a great future as it explores and invests into other businesses, including bitumen. Even before the company officially commissions its newly constructed bitumen plant, customers are already queuing to purchase the product from the company. Reginald Daniel Laye is board chairman of GOIL PLC.
We are sure that once the current economic challenges are overcome, the government will be able to construct more roads in the country, which will culminate in increased sale of bitumen. We also expect that the government will extend the local content requirement to road construction to reduce imports of bitumen, particularly polymer modified bitumen, the PMB, which the company produces domestically.
The company offered a 19% increase in dividends of shareholders at 0.056 Ghana cedis per share. This increase comes in the midst of financial and economic challenges that took a toll on many businesses. The board chairman again explains how the company was able to brave the storms.
In addition to being results-driven and flexible, GOIL has continued to hold the title of Ghana's most sought-after company in the downstream oil sector. The company's stations have seen an increase in patronage over the last 3 years, and their success is attributed to their commitment to always enhancing the client experience. This has been made possible thanks to the development of a successful sales force that has over many years solidified its bonds with the dealer partners that operate the stations.
Group CEO and Managing Director of GOIL PLC, Kwame Osei-Prempeh, expatiated on the uniqueness of GOIL products and why the generality of the Ghana people must continue to support the company in terms of patronage. Overall, the company posted a profit of 123.89 million Ghana cedis, representing an increase of 26%.
The quality of petrol is determined by what is called the octane level run. The ordinary one, all the stations sell the ordinary one, RON 91. GOIL sells the best RON 95. And therefore, we have the highest patronage in the country. Anybody who knows the difference goes to GOIL to buy our petrol, the RON 95.
I hand over the helm of our first Port of Takrady.
Peter Mubediakon, a staff of the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, has taken over the reins of the Port of Takrady as its director. His appointment comes on the back of the retirement of Captain Ebenezer Kojo Afezi, who has been the director of port since 2015. At a colorful ceremony on Friday, June 9, an official pullout and handing over ceremony was held to officially bid him farewell from the authority. Captain Afezi joined GPHA in 1999 and rose through the ranks to become director of port in 2015. In his address, he enumerated some of the great feats he chalked while at the helm as director of port.
When I took over, I was handed over 830 staff, managers and officers, together with the junior staff, contract staff, or were 830. As I speak, our staff strength is 1,070. The cargo throughput for the year 2014 was 2.2 million metric tons. And at the end of the first quarter, the cargo throughput for only the 3 months was 1,752,033 metric tons.
The new director of port, on his part, pledged to continue the good works of his predecessor. He implored the entire staff of GPHA to pitch in and display their professionalism for the growth of the port. Peter Mubediakon joined GPHA in April 2002 and rose through the ranks and, among others, became the marketing and public affairs manager and human resource manager before his elevation to the position of director of port.
We at GPHA Port of Takrady would want to assure you that we shall continue with your good works and expand the frontiers of the port by continuing with the hard-working values of commitment to hard work and truth you have instilled in us. I would like to express my gratitude to my predecessor, who has laid a solid foundation and has led this port with integrity and dedication. Under your leadership, the port has become a vital hub of commerce and a gateway for international trade. I am humbled, and I say very humbled, to stand on the shoulders of your achievements and determined to build upon them as we go along together.
The director of port of Tema, Sandro Opoku, who deputized for the Director General of GPHA, Michael Lugoje, extolled the hard work and diligence with which the outgone Director of Port undertook his duties.
I am certain that with the laurels that you have achieved in 23 years with GPHA, you can confidently look back and affirm what Apostle Paul said. I have fought the good fight. I have finished the race. I have kept the faith. 2 Timothy 4:7. Now you will be crowned because you have done well. Yes, indeed, you have left your mark, and the history of GPHA can never be told without the mention of you. As a pilot, I therefore wish you fair winds and following seas. Ayiko, and may God keep you in the next phase of your life.
All right, viewers, now let us turn our attention to the global stage and pick a few international shipping and maritime related news. A DNV study shows that a staggering 81% of seafarers expressed a necessity for partial or complete training to effectively handle the advanced technologies expected to be deployed on future ships. Additionally, over 75% of respondents, of which 78% are deck and engine officers, indicated a need for training on new fuel types such as liquefied natural gas, batteries, or synthetic fuels. The demand for training on emerging fuels like ammonia, hydrogen, and methanol surged even higher, reaching 87% among survey participants. The study was carried out by DNV Classification Society, and it was co-sponsored by the Singapore Maritime Foundation. The research examines the key drivers transforming the maritime industry and their impact on ship management and seafarers leading up to 2030. PetroTal, a Canadian-based company that reports it is the largest crude oil producer in Peru, said that its vessels and crews are coming under attack by the indigenous population as it works to move oil and supplies along the rivers in Peru's Amazon region. The company reports the attacks escalated with kidnappings, commandeering of its vessels, and blocking river transport. They released a brief video showing the population in small boats surrounding and attacking one of the company's vessels that was moving a barge on the river. It's now time for our Word of the Day segment, where we introduce words, jargons, phrases, and terminologies that we often use in this industry so you can get familiar with them. Today we'll tell you what a P&I club is. A protection and indemnity, or P&I club, is a non-governmental, non-profitable, mutual, or cooperative association of marine insurance providers to its members, which consist of ship owners, operators, charterers, and seafarers under the member companies. A P&I club's role is to support seafarers' safety and well-being by providing the required necessities. Let us now take a look at the schedule of vessels that have berthed in the ports of Tema and Takoradi and at the anchorages of both ports, as well as those expected in the coming weeks, plus the Bank of Ghana exchange rates, which you may need to know to clear your cargo with. All right, this brings us to the close of today's edition of Iron Port. We hope you've been informed and educated. Remember, all Iron Port content can be found on our YouTube channel, Iron Port. Subscribe, like, and give us feedback. Thank you for watching.